Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So this video is targeted for beginners and this is going to talk about the execution of JavaScript script files, what is going to be the sequence, how they execute. So let's take an example. So let's say we have a simple form on the left hand side here which has an email ID and a password field. Now what we want to do is we want to, let's say, validate that this email is a valid email ID, and how we are capturing it is, let's say we are using an email field with an ID email. Now what we will do is, okay, we will add an event listener on it, like on key up. On each key up there will be a regex which will check, hey, whether this is going to be a valid email ID or not, and accordingly we'll show a message here. Right, so very non-intrusive, no alerts, no nothing, just simple email validation. Now what happens here is this validation file is being imported in the head of the HTML file, like this, validations. So what happens is, let me just refresh the file and let me show you. So email INP is null. Basically it's not going to get the reference of that particular field, because how we're getting it, document.getElement by ID email. So it's not going to get the reference. Why? Because at this point in time the DOM has not finished rendering and the JavaScript execution file is not going to find the reference to that field. So what is the quick fix around it? What we can do is, some people will say, hey, you can move the script to the bottom just before the body tag, just before the body tag ends, we can do that. Yes, you can do that as well, but there's one more thing. If we just simply add a defer attribute to this. So what does defer do? Defer means, hey, this is going to be the script file which we are going to import in our HTML file, but hold on the execution until the rest of the DOM rendering has finished. So let me refresh the HTML file and show you right away. So see, this error has gone away, and the moment I start typing, let's say some text, and you can see, so this console.log has started showing up. Now one more scenario. Let's say we have this user's counter, which, let's say on form load we want to say how many users have registered so far on our platform. So basically we want to show a counter. So for that I've just built a very simple counter, a self execution IIFE function, and this function I've taken a counter. I have taken the label reference from the document getElement by ID count. Count is nothing but a label in our HTML, and what I've done is I have created an interval, and this interval runs every 200 milliseconds, and it will randomly insert a number between 100 and 100,000, and parsing, because we don't want floats or something, we just want numbers, and we'll increment that. This plus is just to show in beginning as a string, and that's the counter number. And after this is done, it will run for a total of 3 seconds. So I have a set timeout, I have a reference to the set interval as interval, and I will clear the interval like this after 3 seconds, so that it doesn't keep on going in an infinite loop. So, and after that I have just given a console log counter just to say that, hey, this file has been imported and executed. So let me just quickly uncomment this. So in this mechanism, basically we should be able to see the execution order, that whether first the validations file has executed with the console log validations, or the counter file has executed with the console log counter. Okay, let's refresh this. Now what happens here is counter file gets executed, and after that validations files get executed. Why? Because validations we have made it as defer, so it will wait towards the end. But now since we already have a label in this place, so the counter file is not able to get a reference to the label here. So what we can do is, we want this to run parallelly. We don't want it to wait for the whole DOM load or wait for this to finish. So what we can say is, we can say async. So what async does is, there is a script which you want to run in parallel, and it should not wait for the DOM render. Okay, so I've done that. Let me refresh that. So here you can see the counter is working, and the order of execution is first counter and then validations. So now you know what's the difference between a defer and a async, and how the script execution works. For more informative videos, please subscribe to the channel and keep watching. See you. Bye bye.